Hi everybody, and welcome to Advanced Ideas presentation of Advanced Parenting Skills. My name is Professor Paul, and I'll be your instructor today. Now, we've got an amazing training for you today. This is going to give you advanced parenting skills that are going to put you in the top 1% of the top 1% of all parents out there. So, what are some of the goals we're going to achieve today? And this is by no means all the goals. They wouldn't fit on this sheet. So the first one is to understand the power of relationships in parenting and specifically how to use it. 2, develop a mentoring mindset and strategies. This can also be amazingly powerful. 3, develop new specific tools, strategies, and techniques for working with your child. 4, working as a team, building and growing your team and utilizing all the resources that you have. 5, learning how to talk to your child in such a way that the child will actually listen, and that's key. 6, learning about consequences and life lessons and how you can use that to help your child grow, mature, develop, and become a fully functional adult. So we've got an awful lot packed into this training. These are cutting edge tools. These are the same tools that I would use as a therapist when I would go into a person's home and help them out. They had 16 years to get this child better. I had 16 hours. I tended to have much better results. Why? I had every disadvantage. I had no relationship with the child. I had no history with them. I had no authority over them. But by using these tools, I was very powerful in that situation. By both making the parent powerful and making the child powerful and working on the relationship together, we were able to reestablish those relationships. So these tools are amazingly powerful. If you understand these and you are using these on a day in, day out basis, you're going to have, results that'll be 1,000 times what I had. So I'm predicting massive success for you. So hey, if I haven't told you already, congratulations on becoming a parent. An exciting time in your life. Second thing is, oh my God, what were you thinking? When you're thinking about having a child, you say to yourself, oh, they're going to be cute and we're going to play with them and they're going to have fun. They're going to look like me and we're going to dress them up and we're going to show them to all our friends and it's just going to be awesome and it's going to be all hugs and kisses and all this type of stuff. What it really is it's a 20 plus year dedication to another human being, okay, with all the trials and tribulations that go along with that. So it's never ever what you think it's going to be. Now, if you've been a parent for more than a minute, I think you'll agree with me. So there's a lot of challenges that go on. It takes a lot of caring, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice. So, much respect to you. This is a hard task. And remember I said you got to raise a kid till they're 20? You have to raise a kid till they're 20 because 18 you get them out the door. It takes another 2 years for them to mature so they don't come back through the door when they're 30 and start living in your basement. But I'll tell you, even that's not entirely accurate. My parents are in their 80s and they're still raising their children. The children are always there for them when they need them. So this is really a lifetime commitment. So from the time you have your child until you die, they're going to need you as a parent. Matter of fact, most kids, even after their parents die, they find a substitute, surrogate parent in one of their friends, one of their mentors. Parenting is just absolutely huge in a person's life. It can make or break an individual. So one of the first tools that I want to give you, it's kind of fundamental, is that parenting is a different kind of love than you've ever gone through in your entire life. And like I said, if you've been a parent for a minute, I think you know this. But I'm going to teach you a new kind of love, a new kind of perspective around this. And let me give you an example. When it's a child, you have to love them in a certain way or you will damage them. So it's not the kind of way you want. It may not even be the kind of way the child wants. It's not the way you thought it was going to be. Again, new kind of love, new kind of perspective. You've never seen this before. So think of it this way. I'm a therapist, and I worked the area that I first worked in was adolescents. So adolescents were going through this horrible addiction. They were tearing apart themselves, their family, their entire future. So we would always have a parenting program, and we would bring the parents in because, hey, the kids were getting 30 days worth of treatment. Parents were getting what? 0, except for this parenting program. So we would bring them in once or twice. We only had 2 or 3 hours with them, and then maybe a couple little individual sessions. And the parents maybe had 5 hours of training, and the kids had, several hundred hours worth of training when they left. But one of the things that we always, always, always taught the parents is when you have an addicted child, it's a different kind of love, and you have to look at it a different way. So when you have a quote-unquote normal child, you can be kind and loving and caring, and when they get in trouble, you try to get them back out, and you teach them this little life lesson, and off they go. That's great. Now, when you have an addicted child, you need a new kind of love and a new kind of perspective, okay? When they have a consequence, they get thrown in jail, you don't rush down and bail them out and take them home and say, poor baby, and cuddle them. No, that teaches them that you can get out of these problems and that these problems aren't real and they're temporary, and even if you do get caught, it's going to be okay. No, we want to teach them if they do get caught, there's horrible consequences. It's god awful, and think about that next time before you pick up a drink or drug. So unlike a normal kind and loving parent, the new kind of being kind and loving, which means your child gets the best result. Hear that? Your child gets the best result. That's you being the best kind of parent you can be. And with an addicted child, leaving them in jail is the best thing that you can do. Not getting them a lawyer, letting them have the maximum consequences, making them pay the fines off. That's the way to do it. So in this parenting course, we're going to teach you a new kind of love, new kind of perspective, maybe wildly different than what you're used to, but again, works out best for the parent, works out best for the child, and it works out best for the relationship between you and the child. So I want you to be kind of open, take a new mindset, be a blank slate, clean your mind out of any old thoughts and concepts, and look at these new concepts. We're going to teach you a new way to be kind and loving with your child in such a way that they'll listen to you and you'll build the relationship and you both have positive outcomes. Now, parenting is about the child, not the parent. It's about sacrifice. Remember I said congratulations on having a kid? Great. Now you get your little parent card, you stick it in your wallet, and you're part of the club. But now, the next 20 plus years is going to be all about that child. It's not about you anymore. Before you could go out drinking and partying with your, wife or husband, or do whatever you wanted and go on trips and all this type of thing. Now it's 24/7 around the clock. That child has to be taken care of. Once that child is taken care of, then you can do whatever you want. Again, within certain limitations, because now you got a child. Even taking a dog, I've got to make sure the dog is cared for. So what I want only comes after the dog is taken care of. So it's the same way when you have a child. It's about sacrifice. And here's the sacrifice you make. The average child costs about $250,000 to $350,000 to do it on the cheap. $500,000 if you want to do it upright and you got some extra cash. They're very expensive. You could buy a yacht and show all your friends, for that amount of money. That would be enough if you put it away during the same time you're raising your child to retire on. Times each child. This is a lot of money. This is a very expensive hobby. That's part of the sacrifice. The next part of the sacrifice is it's going to take 20 of the best years of your life, minimum. And that, of course, that's going to extend out another 2 or 3 years for each child you have. And you're going to have to make a lot of emotional sacrifices. You're going to have to swallow a lot of things. You're going to have to deal with a lot of things. You're going to have those sleepless nights. You're going to have the caring, the concern, the worries, the fears that go along with being a parent, along with all the positives, okay? But what I want to go back to is parenting is about the child, not the parent. What does this mean? Let me tell you from a therapeutic perspective, because of course I'm a long-term therapist and trainer of therapists. So one of the first things I train therapists is therapy is about the client and not the therapist. Same way I'm teaching you that parenting is about the child and not about the parent. So when you're a therapist, it's all about the client. Everything that moves that client in a positive direction, that's the right thing to do. Anything that moves them in a negative direction, that's the wrong thing to do. I once had a therapist and they said, oh God, I'm so good to these kids and I do everything for them and I'm trying to make their life better. And they whine, they bitch, they complain, they don't always listen to me, they call me names, they wrote something nasty about my mother on the bathroom wall. I mean, why they got to bring my mama into this? They're just whining about the clients. I had to take them outside the facility and I said, look up at the sign in front of this building. I said, what does it say? And they said, oh, it says Spofford Hall. I said, no, read the whole thing. They said, okay, it says Spofford Hall Hospital. I said, great, now read the last part. It said, hospital. I said, what kind of people come to a hospital? He said, sick people? I said, yes, exclusively. Matter of fact, once they stop doing these things, they stop having these sick behaviors, they stop acting sick, you got to pull out their chart, tell them they did great, and discharge them. The client is perfectly doing what they're supposed to do, and as a therapist, you got to do what you're supposed to do. Don't get upset because sick people are acting sick. Don't get upset as a parent because your child is acting as a child. They're doing childish things. They're not doing this to harm you or against you. It's simply something that you have to gently correct. You have to adjust for. And how do we do it in therapy? We did it through relationship skills. And we're going to talk more about that in the next section. But everything that you do in every way, shape, or the form is to move that child in a positive direction while maintaining the relationship. It's all about sacrifice, not about you, about them. Congratulations, you're a parent. Welcome. You've made an exciting choice in life, and now you're gaining the tools. You've shown the wisdom to gain the tools to be in that top 1% of 1% of parents that spend the time to actually learn their craft to have outstanding results. And this is going to save you years and years of torture. Now, if you're grabbing this course and you got a 16-year-old that's driving you nuts, I apologize for the 16 years. I was here, where were you? But I got here as soon as I could, and we're going to move you forward, and we're going to help pull you out of that. So nothing but upside, and I'll see you in the next part of the training.